Hey guys, Clumsy here, and welcome back to ETS2. Yes, ETS2 again, but this time on a different map. Because Grand Utopia 1.5 has released, and I sure do miss this map, so I went ahead and re-enabled my mods, went on a different profile, and here we are. Bought the same truck, well, mostly the same from the previous episode, the Volvo FH by Eugene. Mr. Capital's rigid chassis, and this time Cast's Ekeri. Small trailer this time, so that would be more fitting for this kind of small map. Let's see if that works. And of course EVR sounds, the new Volvo FH Euro 6 EVR sounds. Thanks by the way guys for the amazing feedback on the previous episode. Looks like a lot of people enjoyed the video, and seems like the sounds are very realistic from your inputs. Sounds legit, down to the turbo whine and all that stuff. Let's go and reset the trip. So I did find a job, if I can at least show you, or is it gone? Let's see. I found something. Not that one. We'll have to travel a bit to get there, but I think it's going to be a nice trip, a good warm-up to explore again this map. Now there are no really new features in the map. It's mostly a compatibility update, but I mean, even with the existing ones, there is no mistaking the beauty of this map. I think that's the one I'm looking for. Yeah, we can take that. Malter to Gavroche, and then I can do some Q&As along the way. Right, longer the better. Now take note, if you haven't seen this before, if you haven't encountered this map before, this is called the Grand Utopia by My Godness, and it is a 1:1 fictional map. And yes, you heard me right, that is 1:1. Normally ETS2 is in I don't know the exact number, around 1:19 or 1:20 plus scale, which means the roads are not really, the map is not really that large as in real life. I won't be able to fit through there. I think I'll have to squeeze in through this side. We are seeing those problems already, complications. Right, and I don't have any voice navigation. I think we need that. Let's go and get the Grand Tour guys to accompany us, unless we find something that might be more interesting. Raspy? No. Actually, I didn't enable any voice navigation. Oh crap. Okay, let's you'll just have me for this episode. I forgot to enable them in the mods list. That's fine. You will stick with me in the meantime, that means. So on the way to the pickup point will take us 10 minutes, and then it's going to be another 20 to 30 minutes for the actual trip. And yes, because it's 1:1, whatever you see in the ETA, that's most likely the real life timing as well. That's the amazing thing about 1:1. No need for calculations like that. The bad thing about 1:1, at least in this game, is that the income is for sure lower. Because you travel smaller distances, you get paid less. And so you drive for 20 minutes, you paid like you drove for 20 minutes in game. So it's a bit of a, yeah, it's not the way to go if you want to start a career from scratch. That's why I have a cheated profile. You can look at my money here. So that's a bit of a cheaty profile right there, just to so that money will not be an issue, and we can focus on the driving and the exploration of the map. By the way, thanks a lot to Shinix for helping me a bit with the Volvo setup. So he told me which transmission was ideal for this one. So I actually got the iShift AT2412E. That's the gearbox that I'm using. And that should supposedly give that perfect ratio that when we're in the 80 kilometer per hour speed, we should be right at 12 gear, even with automatic transmission. So I'm using real automatic and economy mode adaptive automatic transmission. I'm hoping that will do the trick, but we will see once we get on the highway, okay? But thanks a lot for that. Also, I wanted to consult with you guys because I bought this Ekeri trailer. Look at there are two axles, right? But look, when we move, only the back axle is touching the front axle of the trailer. Okay? It's not moving at all. And they have the same size. That's the same tire on both. So I'm not sure if it's purposely raised like that. Is that by design that it's not getting used, or is that maybe a bug from Cast's modeling that they aren't aligned? I'm guessing they're on purpose, but it looks very weird. It's not raised because I can raise it. I'll show you. If I raise it now, that tire in the front axle goes even more higher. Okay? Even higher now. If I lower it, it touches a bit. Now it touches a bit, but if I brake, it suddenly stops like that. So it's not really touching the ground. And I'm thinking maybe that's because of my front truck. Maybe I have two large tires compared to the trailer. That's why the trailer is a bit looking up. So the front axle is a bit lifted off the ground. That's what I'm thinking of, but maybe you guys can help me choose, because the tires I have at the back are like 265/70, I believe. The ones in front I'm using I forgot, 315/60 or I forgot, but let me know if you have any ideas about that, okay? Man, this is what I love about this map. Everything just looks so scenic, so full of life. And I'm not even using Project Next Gen textures here. This is just from the default. And my godness has really modeled this map beautifully. No need for any other extra textures. He has utilized the textures that SCS have created for the newer DLCs. So that means higher quality and not anymore like the 6-year-old original ETS2 version. Man, this is just so good. Now I don't have any traffic mods right now because I want to explore the map in its entirety and give it a fair chance to see how the performance is. I remember in the city, like in Malter I think it's called, it's a bit laggy. It was a bit laggy before. I love this humongous roundabout here that just goes around the highway. I still have those hiccups from time to time, which I'm not sure where I'm getting them from. Because I don't have any AI drivers. I don't have any other trucks actually. I don't have AI. I don't have any other AI mods. Only trailers could be doing that, but I don't know. I only have Cast's trailers. VAC, Ekeri, NTM, Cracker. Nothing else. Okay, here we go. Let's see if this will jump into 12th gear by the time we reach 80 kilometers per hour. I think I'm engaging kickdown here. Come on, hit 80. Yeah, that's the kickdown feature right there. Kicking in too fast. That's weird. That is weird. Strange shifting. Yeah, the automatic transmission has always been a bit of a question mark. And I don't know. Sometimes we play along, but this time doesn't seem like it. I still want to stick through it though because it's quite realistic, you know. It's much more immersive. I mean, driving in manual is cool and it gets you that feel of the truck, but if you really want the authentic experience of a modern truck, it most likely is manual. There we go, perfect. That shifted to 80 kilometers per hour, well, to 12th gear, just as we hit 80. Nice. And now it's enabling the retarder. Actually, I can go 90 here, huh? Look at how smooth the frame rate is. Even entering the city, like so. Beautiful. Goodness. The power of DirectX 11 is being utilized now by this map. Love it. So we exit right here, and I almost missed my turn because I don't have my fancy voice navigation now. There we go. The engine for this truck is actually smaller. I'm actually using just a 420 because I mean it's a regional delivery, regional truck. Smallest cab, smallest trailer, smallest engine. Yeah, so very compact. That's how the truck looks. Beautiful. And yeah, I like those small trailers. And I think having those small trailers actually allows you to go, correct me on this, anywhere in Europe. They're not as restricted as like when you have a tandem, but you have a full trailer at the back, like the how long is that? I don't know, 40 meters or something. 40 meters, that might be humongous. 40 feet. I have no clue what I'm talking about. But yeah, the full length trailer is limited, looks like, to Scandinavia, Germany, Netherlands, those regions. But I think this kind of setup with two small trailers, I think that works everywhere, right? Or almost everywhere. You let me know in the comment section. Because if so, I will actually change my config to be like this as well in the main Pro Mods profile so that we can go anywhere. Because I don't want to be restricted. I want to explore the UK. I want to go back to Spain, to Iceland. And it might be difficult if we're restricted with the trailer. But my goodness, I really love these new sounds from EVR. I'm no expert when it comes to realism. Like, I can't tell if it sounds like a real Volvo FH, if the turbo whine is enough, but I trust you guys enough. And based on the feedback from Shinix, from Rohan, seems like it is a legit sound, as accurate as it can get. Can you imagine EVR sounds getting much better than how they already are? Okay, good. Ah, yes, I remember this pickup point. We had to make that the U-turn. Yeah, that's the one. Whoop. That's a bit tricky. Oh, don't hit that guy, don't hit that truck. Almost hit the pole, almost hit all the stuff. Okay, we just climbed the curb a little, which is pretty acceptable to me. Not as a disaster as I would have expected, being a clumsy trucking guy. Man, I love this truck. I think at this point, I like it even more than the Scania Next Gen. The Scania Next Gen used to be near the top of my list in my favorite trucks, but I don't know. This just has more soul in it. Even if it is like more or less fully modern and automatic, it's just so stylish. I'm sure Jay will be happy to hear that. He's a huge fan of this truck. Okay, so now where do we park? This is the big question mark. How does parking work with this setup? Well, the good thing is this trailer doesn't have a dolly, so it's smaller. And it doesn't have a dolly, so reversing should work, at least in terms of physics. The maneuvering should be similar to like how we have when we have a semi-trailer. So the steering would be the same at least, even though the proportions are different. So it shouldn't be that complicated. And as I say that, I probably will mess it up, but we will see. So the parking is right there, okay, yeah. Oh yeah, maybe go to reverse first. So if you guys heard about the Ryzen 3rd Gen, I saw some news. I think it's starting to ship now, isn't it? goodness, it's time to save up again, because I do want to get my hands on those. But I'm also a bit torn because I also want to upgrade my GPU. So yeah, but I'll wait for some benchmarks. If you have any news on Ryzen 3rd Gen or the new Ryzen graphics cards, let me know. I'm a bit hesitant to try out the Ryzen, the AMD graphics cards, I mean, because even though they have the new architecture, they have that amazing price point, they're very competitive versus GeForce. I think in terms of compatibility, GeForce is still Nvidia is still the winner. Like NVENC, for streaming, for recording. I don't think Radeon can do that. Wow, best parking ever. I'll take that. Oh goodness, it's raining. George will love me for this. George mentioned it was a dull trip last time because it was raining. Okay, let me cheat a bit for you guys. There we go. Just for you, I cheated. Cheater. Let the cheater comments begin. But yeah, just so we have nice weather. Alright. Restart the trip so we can measure our fuel economy. Let's get going. We are hauling 10 tons of pears to Gavroche. I love driving these tandems. But yeah, I think I have to get my tire setup sorted. I think I have the wrong config here. Hopefully it doesn't damage the trailer, at least not long term. But I guess one trip shouldn't hurt that much. Goodness, it feels actually, I think overall it's a bit longer than if you have a semi-trailer setup, a full semi-trailer. But it's not that bad, and I love the look of that on the side mirror, seeing the full small trailer at the back following us as we go. I don't know, it just looks so, I don't know what the description is, so exotic for me. Okay, here we are. Turn as late as possible, eat up the entire space, make that turn, perfection. Easy peasy. Alright. But yes, I'm super happy that my godness is back. Welcome back, my godness. He took quite a long break for personal reasons, I think. And I'm happy that he is back and ready to do some more mapping. I was a bit scared that, oh, poor car. Wonder how he ended up like that. I was a bit scared that he would be leaving the scene. And it would be such a shame because this map is just one of those gems in the ETS2 community. It's not the biggest map, but it really gives you that feeling of driving through real roads. And that's a bit ironic because this is a fictional map. And that's saying something. Being a fictional map, but giving you that sense of real driving. Now that's something, right? If it can do that, how much more if it actually refers to real locations? So yeah, there's a bit of a handicap there, but still, he's able to manage because of the beauty of the detail of the map he's done. In one end, he has a lot more freedom because he doesn't have to stick to reality, but in the other, the limit is his imagination. So it's a bit scary as well. And it relies a lot on the capabilities of the mapper. And yeah, now we know the capabilities, right? But yeah, every time it feels new. Even though the map is not that huge, every road you go through feels new. Because it's so filled with detail. I love it. I remember I also donated, I think, a bit a few months back for this map to my godness because I really like the area and I wanted to get an advertisement up. I wanted my logo in there as well to mark my spot. But that's pretty cool. Yeah, no need for Project Next Gen here. Everything looks good as it is. We do need natural lux though, and that's what we have right now. Oh, that's a bit heavy. Maybe 420 horsepower isn't the best, huh? Because in this slope, we are suffering quite a bit. Let me try to step on the pedal a bit more right before that kickdown engages. I don't think so. Let's go kickdown. There we go. Burn. So it really won't shift up if I have kickdown. Wow, that's scary, huh? That is super scary. But yeah, this is quite steep. I'm guessing maybe 420 might not be enough for a tandem setup. Goodness, look at that fuel consumption. Oh, my boss will kill me. What the heck did you do to your fuel? Goodness. There we go, finally. Sorry about your ears. We have to make up for that now. Hopefully there's a lot of downhill slope here now to make up for all that fuel lost. Okay, but anyway, let me go and start with the Q&A. Ooh, nice trailer. Is that from Sissels, maybe? Maybe. Alright, from Jay. What's your favorite piece of art? Piece of art? Granted, I'm not a very artistic guy. I'm a very... If there's a range from minimalist to artsy-fartsy, I'm more on the minimalist side. Like, I'm not hardcore minimalist, but I don't have very good eye for design. Let's put it that way. Oh, I love this transmission. Awesome pick, Shinix. And I think we have to slow down. Is there a toll gate? No, but there is a roundabout coming up. Alright. Oh, let's squeeze in here. Let's go first before that guy does. Sucker! That's not the way to drive people, alright? Don't do that. Don't do that in real roads. You will earn a lot of enemies that way. Anyway, what's your favorite piece of art? So just to share a bit, I'm not sure if I can answer that because I am, as I mentioned, I'm a bit on the minimalist side. So I don't have much decorations. I don't have many decorations in my house. Like I don't even have anything hanged. The only thing I have hanged are those pegs. Those pegs where you actually like, where you, what is the English term? Where you put your clothes on. Yeah, those hooks. That's the only thing I stick on my wall. At one point, we had a viewer who sent me a trucking calendar, so I hang that. But I don't really have like an art collection. And I don't really hang picture frames or whatnot. I would love to, but I don't know. It's like I'm okay with a blank wall. You know, I don't need to fill it up. That's my point of view, and it's just my style. Like, it's nothing bad if you think that way or the other. It's just a different preference. So I'm a bit more minimalist in that side. Like, I don't know, as long as I have the PC, I don't need to decorate my house. Which might not be a good thing. Because like when you have guests, you like your house to be presentable and stuff, not so bare. But yeah, that's how I am. So if I were to choose in what my favorite piece of art is, if you want the cheesy answer, then that's me and Mrs. Clumsy's wedding photo. Yeah, okay. Alright, if you want the trucking answer, so the same viewer, Kit, actually is his name. Thanks a lot, Kit, for your constant support there. Really appreciate that. He sent me a calendar before, and then he also sent me an Eddie Stobart collector truck, a Scania R with the Eddie Stobart livery. It looks so cool. That's probably my favorite piece of art. Yeah, that's the, and I didn't even buy it. So if I, the ones I bought, I think I bought like a Tamiya, you know, the like the cars that kids nowadays collect, and I bought a truck Tamiya, something like that. I think that is the biggest piece of art I've owned, or at least what I have right now. Is there an auto pass? Yeah, this one. Let's pass through here. Retarder action. Slow me down. Goodness. The retarder power is night and day if you're on low or versus high revs. So you noticed when we shifted, when the transmission shifted to a lower gear and we ended up way high revs, the braking power from the retarder really stepped it up. So you could feel the cab actually like stutter forward a bit. Anyway, next question. Do you believe everyone we meet is meant to teach us a lesson about ourselves? Sadly or happily, yes. I think, how do I say this? Not only like everyone we meet, but everything that happens is meant to be a lesson. Yeah, like not everything that will happen will be good for sure. Some will be tragic, some will be crazy, and some of course we wouldn't want to happen to us, but that's life. Things happen, and no matter how bad something is, I'd like to believe that there is something that we can learn from anything that happens, something that we can take out of it. That might be the optimist in me. I might be the silver lining kind of guy, but I'd like to believe that we grow because of these experiences, and even though some of them hurt, some of them are not easy to bear, some of them are just impossible to go through, they still teach us something. Let me share with you something personal. When my mom passed away 2 years ago, it's one of the saddest moments in my life, as you can imagine. And it was hard for sure. It was so sudden, and I didn't even reach her in time because I'm living in Singapore, and they are in the Philippines. So, and you might have heard this story, but I got a call while I was streaming one time, and my brother told me to go home because my mom is sick. So I did that same day, but in the evening, and I heard that she didn't make it actually, so I didn't get to see her anymore. And that's just sad, you know? And it was hard, really hard. And the thing is, of course I didn't want that to happen, right? But it did, and that's how life is. Things happen, and you have to learn how to move forward and go on with your life. And so I learned something from that. I learned the importance of life, because we know it. We know that life is important. We know that we have to make the most out of every day and all that stuff, but you never really realize it until that kind of thing happens, you know? It's an eye-opener. And it's like I think of it as my mom's final lesson for me. And it's just so eye-opening, that experience. And as much as I hope that I never got to experience it, it taught me really something huge, which is value life, enjoy life while it's there, you know, make the most of it, and not just by words, but really by action. Oh, look at that crosswind action. If there were winds here, if Jack would say something, Jack told me that strong winds, it could actually blow your truck to the left, like here, to the other lane, because of those strong winds, especially for the curtain siders, which act like sails. Anyway, not simulated here though, unfortunately. Hopefully that can be a future thing. Wind effect on the physics. But anyway, going back to the story. So yes, it taught me the importance of life, and that it made me realize what my priority should be. Like I was initially focusing on work, focusing on the small stuff, on non-important stuff. And when that happened, it was like, what the heck am I doing? Why am I focusing here when I have my family I can take care of? I can focus on them instead. And after that incident, after that happened, I had a totally different outlook at work. It's not like I don't work anymore. It's not like I forget about work, but I know my priorities. Like, I work, but not at the cost of sacrificing family and friends. Work is work, and life is life. Work is enjoyable. I enjoy working. I enjoy my work, but it's a totally different ball game. Stick to 90 here. And nowadays, like, as much as possible, I don't sacrifice my family time versus work. Like, and this is probably something you can relate to, because remember, I cannot stream in the evenings. I cannot stream on weekends. I don't usually go online on weekends or record on weekends if possible. And that's because that's one of my realizations. Family is the number one thing. And my family now is Mrs. Clumsy. So I try as much as possible to really spend as much time with her, quality time, And that's why I say on the evenings I cannot stream really, because even if I was not working at that time, I would devote that time for Mrs. Clumsy because she's here already. Yeah, right now, like in the morning, it's I'm alone, and I can work, I can record, I can stream, but when she's here, she's my priority. That's the number one thing I realized when my mom passed. And it's just such an eye-opening experience for me, so I absolutely love her for it. And so it's tragic, but still learn something. So yes, I definitely believe we can learn from anything that happens, and there is something to take away from it. Become better people, no matter how hard, how tragic things can get. So that's the optimist in me. But yeah, being an optimist has its perks. You tend to be happier. I remember I was reading some books before, and there was a research. Don't ask me about facts, okay? But this is just anecdotal. This is what I remember, and goldfish memory, just a disclaimer. But there was a research that concluded that optimistic people are happier than the pessimistic ones, which makes total sense, right? Because if you're an optimist, you feel like everything's going to work out. Of course, you're happy because you have a bright outlook, you have hope. Comparing if you're pessimists, then you're always angry about things, or you feel like things will always fail, and that might cause you to worry. But also, I'm trying to remember now, if I'm remembering this right, I think pessimists live longer. I'm not so sure now why. Maybe the optimists are too optimistic that they fail to see the dangers. I don't know. But maybe that's just my goldfish memory switching things up. But if you have more info on that, let me know, okay? Thanks for the question, Jay. Next question, a totally different angle. Have you ever been jealous? Oh, heck yes. Yeah. I would count myself as a romantic, you could say. And I would say I am very, how do you say? Actually, you know what? I'm not the most jealous type. I'm more romantic than I am jealous. Because there are different arguments about this. Some people say if you get jealous, that means you don't trust your partner. Or if you get jealous, you don't give them enough value or something like that. But I don't think that's the case. I think in a way, being jealous shows how much you care for the person. Because you don't want anyone else to get them or take their time away from you. something like that. So I'm not the most jealous type, but I do get jealous from time to time, and I think it's healthy. A right amount of jealousy is healthy because you don't want to be oblivious to the things that are happening. You want to stay on top of it. Yeah, nip the rose at the bud. Is that the expression? Something like that. I don't know. Oh, is that an airport tower? Why were we not going there? Oh no. Bad angle. I was at 70, even lower, but I think too sharp. Look at this. Once we hit 9th gear, the braking will go full speed here. See how fast the speed went down? Maybe not. Maybe it wasn't that obvious that time. Anyway. Alright. But yeah, I think the right amount of jealousy is healthy. Keep each other in check. Make sure no one is crossing any boundaries or stepping into dangerous territory and things like that. And that's what we've learned with relationships. It's a constant work in progress. You cannot be what is the English term? The Filipino term is campante. It might sound Spanish actually. It might be Spanish. Complacent. Yeah, cannot be complacent just because you are, like, if you're in a relationship and you feel like you and your partner are in the best situation and you start like forgetting that or trying to maintain that or working on it, then things can fall apart very fast. So it's a constant work in progress, constant communication, constant stuff like that and everything. So it's something. It's something. Now, why did I say that? I can't remember now. Is that the new water jug sound? I like that, the shaking thing. I remember I really am super fond of that. That's my favorite juggling sound, the water juggling. I remember when I first heard that from EVR's Renault Premium, I think. One of his first paid mod releases. Or was it in the DAF XF105 where I first heard it? I can't remember now. But yeah, it's one of the most iconic sounds that he has. Super immersive. Man, just love this. Just love this map. It feels like we've gone so much, like gone so far already. But in truth, we've been traveling for only like 20 kilometers or something. And we're almost here. But yeah, the highway really feels like a highway. No sudden turns. So many views wherever you go. And did you see the castle on the right a while ago? I did a quick save then, just so I can go back and maybe take a photo there. We'll see if I can manage. Gavroche, we are here. And where is that? Too bad we don't have voice navigation. I'll try to install it next time. Let me know who you prefer. Morgan Freeman, Grand Tour guys, Google Maps navigation, or whoever else. Let me know, okay? But yeah, we can end the Q&A there, I think. Thank you for the questions, Jay. It really helps, and I really love those kind of questions, you know. More philosophical, more deep questions versus the memory triggering ones, because as you guys know, my memory is very bad. If you ask me to remember something, like what is your favorite game or something like that, that requires me to tap onto my memory, not going to be a very good answer because I won't remember it most likely. So thank you for these very philosophical questions. I like these a lot better. But if you have like oh wow, my voice. If you have a burning question for me, don't hesitate, let me know, okay? And I'll probably do a silent trucking episode again, but this time here in Grand Utopia, because I'm really loving this map and I'm really loving this truck, this setup. So we'll probably have 2 silent trucking episodes this week, but I hope you guys are liking that one because I think it's a nice balance. And it's going to be a fun-filled ETS2 week this week, looks like. with a little bit of X-Plane on the side. Man, I love X-Plane. And speaking of X-Plane, if you are around, join me for the stream on Wednesday, because I just bought the Airbus A319. So we'll be flying an Airbus for a change, because we usually fly a 737 Boeing. We'll be flying an Airbus this time, so we'll see the differences, the philosophical, the implementation differences with an Airbus versus a Boeing, and we can all debate which one we like better. And yeah, this is much easier to park as well, just like a normal trailer. It's a bit tricky because the hinge is a bit on a different spot, but philosophy is the same. Just keep it slow, and the steering is similar angle. I think I am a bit off set though. Might have to adjust it a bit. Yeah, bit tricky on the parking, but yeah, I think it can work. There we go. Yeah, not the best parking, but I'll take it. 35.6. Not too bad, not the best, but I'll take it. See how that looks. Oh, perfect parking. Well, if you're unloading the back, that should be more than enough, right? Kind of. Good. Yeah, see? Super low income. So if you're trying to build a career from level 1, and that's all you get for driving for almost 1 hour, goodness. It's not really 1:1. It's not hardcore 1:1 because it's only 42 minutes. It says we've been driving for 56 minutes, so maybe it's 1:1 point something. More or less. Should be similar. Yeah? Whoa, everything bouncing. Anyway, thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thank you for listening to my babbling, and hope you enjoyed that one. Hope you enjoyed the truck, the map, the discussions, and let me know what you think, alright? Hit me up in the comment section, hit the like button, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. Looking forward to hearing from you. Thanks, and have a nice day. Clumsy trucking. Let's hear the honking. Clumsy trucking, guys, and bye-bye.